Peter the Great was born in 1672, a time when Russia was ruled by the uncivilized and uneducated tsars and noblemen. At that time, Russia did not have schools, hospitals, factories, or even a proper system of government of court of law. The Russian people was living in poverty, misery, and fear. However, Peter the Great, one of the most famous tsars in Russian history, changed his country's future forever. Peter's father, Tsar Alexis, died when Peter was 4 years old, and there was a power struggle among Peter and his half-brother Ivan and his half-sister Sophia. Eventually, Peter gained control and ruled as the sole Tsar. Peter was stood out in many ways. He was 6 feet 7 inches tall and handsome. He had a strong and robust build, and was interested in physical and military activities. He was also interested in learning. He wanted to learn about everything. Every day he added to his knowledge and improved his skills. He liked to play more games and loved ships and sailing. Peter preferred a simple and unpretentious diet, such as bread, cabbage soup, and cold meat. Peter disliked formal occasions and behavior. He refused to let people kneel to him just because he was Tsar. In those days, Russia was an isolated country. The noblemen did not want to make any changes. They didn't travel outside Russia, and they didn't want foreigners in their country. However, there were great changes and improvements in European countries. Peter wanted Russia to be as great as European countries, so he decided to go to Europe to learn their culture, which was called the Grand Embassy. In order to have a first-hand experience on his journey, he disguised himself as a common soldier, but it wasn't easier to hide the powerful Tsars of Russia. Soon after, people in Europe knew about the traveling Russians. During the Grand Embassy, many people were upset by their rudeness. For example, they destroyed a house where they stayed, using furniture to make fires, shooting their guns at priceless paintings, and ruining a beautiful garden. However, the Grand Embassy was a great success. His time in Europe greatly influenced his vision for reforms in Russia after his return. Peter always wanted to have a powerful Russian navy, so he worked for 4 months in a shipyard in Netherlands to learn shipbuilding. Then he went to England to learn about religion and government. King William III ordered his ships to have a pretend sea battle, so Peter could learn about military command. Peter sent many things and people to Russia, such as scientific equipment, engineers, doctors, and shipbuilders. Peter started to reform many things upon his return to Russia. As Tsar, Peter was cruel. If people didn't do what he ordered, he could kill them. The reforms aimed at modernizing and westernizing the country. He built factories, schools, hospitals, and museums. He established Russia's first newspaper and developed a new system of government. He even changed what people ate. Russians refused to eat potatoes, even though they were starving. They called them the devil's roots. However, through Peter's efforts, potatoes eventually became a staple in Russian cuisine. The reforms were forceful and ruthless. To thoroughly promote Western culture, Peter even changed people's lives. For example, at that time, Russian men had beards, but European men did not. So Peter passed a law that all men have to shave off their beards, if those who chose to keep their beards had to pay special taxes. In contrast, Russian women have greatly improved their lives under Peter. At that time, men had complete power over women and treated them badly. Women were not allowed to be out alone. They had to paint their teeth black and cover their bodies with a lot of clothing. Also, their husbands were chosen by their fathers. Peter wanted women to be more modernized. He forced women to wear European clothes and no longer allowed them to paint their teeth. Additionally, women could choose their own husbands and eat meals together with men. Russia needed a port city for its navy. Peter waged war with Sweden and conquered territory where he found a new capital city, St. Petersburg. which called the city built on bonds. Thousands of men worked for 10 years. 200,000 men lost their life due to the bad conditions. However, once it was complete, it became one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Peter the Great continued to dedicate his life to modernizing Russia until his death at the age of 53.